Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for what might be the last lecture in the heart. We'll see. We'll see. They're kind of short now, if you haven't noticed, for technical reasons. And it was on this slide last time that got cut off. I apologize for that. You were probably just getting all excited about this. But what we got here is a graph of ventricular ejection. All right, so this was isovolumetric contraction. And then this downswing here is ventricular ejection. You can see the volume is certainly dropping here, okay? And the volume we start ejection at is our EDV, our end diastolic volume, which is often around $130, 130 milliliters. And then during ejection, it drops to around a normal value of about 70. And that value of 70 is our end systolic volume. And of course, if you wanted to, you could calculate the stroke volume here. Take 130 minus 70, and you would get 60. Okay. Another quick problem for you here. I'll let you do this one on your own. We'll talk about it in class. This is our pressure graph here. We just looked at the volume graph a moment ago. This is the pressure graph. So we're interested in this region to the right here, whatever color this is, peach, I don't know. And what I want you to notice is that during this period, this is the only time when the left ventricular pressure exceeds that of the aorta. Left ventricle beats aorta. And for that reason, the aortic semilunar valve is going to be pushed open and blood is going to leave the ventricle. Okay, let's keep going. Last phase. Isovolumetric relaxation. Okay, the ventricle is now done contracting. It starts relaxing. Ventricle starts relaxing. Pressure in here starts to drop. Almost immediately, pressure in the left ventricle drops below pressure up here in the aorta. When this happens, blood tries to backflow, but boom, the semilunar valve shuts. That creates the second heart sound, the dup sound. However, the pressure in the ventricle is still relatively high because it just finished contracting. So it's still much higher than the pressure up here in the left atrium. So the mitral valve has yet to open. But do notice again, check out all the blood filling up in the atrium. So while ejection was going on, blood was still coming back to the heart and the atrium is filling up. So mitral valve, shut. Aortic valve, shut. Entrance, exit, shut. Thus the volume ain't changing. All right, and by the way, this volume in here, right here, is the end systolic volume. Ventricle pressure greater than atrium, but less than aortic. And so we're in isovolumetric relaxation. Here we see it down here, volume graph, not changing at all. Be sure on this graph you can figure out where the phases start and stop, where the valves open and close. Those will be test questions. You should be able to draw this graph, all right? Or identify it if it's drawn for you and label it. Okay, pressure graph. We're right in here in this, like whatever color this is. Light, pink, I don't know, salmon. So the ventricle pressure is falling, but during this period, it is less than aorta, but still greater than atrial. And for that reason, both sets of valves are closed. All right, good news. We're done with the 4 phases. Better news, I have a short question here. Read this. There's 3 pieces of information, actually 4. 3 pressures and a little info about the last one. And from these numbers and the fact that it's falling here, you can figure out all this stuff. We'll talk about it in class. All right, a little more measurement stuff. There is a quantity called the cardiac output. It is the volume of blumped. I just combined blood and pumped. That was weird. It was the volume of blood pumped by one ventricle every minute. All right, so each ventricle is going to have its own cardiac output. And as you probably can guess, the 2 cardiac outputs should be the same. Okay? Mathematically, cardiac output is given by heart rate times stroke volume. All right, units are going to end up being milliliters per minute or liters per minute, whichever one you want to use is fine. And we're going to do some algebra with this in lab, if you haven't done so already. Depends on when you're listening to it, I guess. All right, quick problem here, quick math problem. Let you guys do this on your own. Some of you are going to come and tell me that the answer is not here, not in this list of 5 choices, but it is. It totally is. So don't come and tell me it's not. All right. The 2 cardiac outputs, left and right ventricle, they got to match up. If the right ventricle's cardiac output is more, pressure will build up in the pulmonary circuit, fluid will build up there, it can kill you. If the left ventricle has a greater cardiac output, fluid accumulates in the systemic tissue, which can eventually kill you too. Okay, now let's talk about some of the things that affect the 2 factors in cardiac output. Some of the things that affect heart rate and stroke volume. Heart rate will increase when your cardioacceleratory center turns on or your cardioinhibitory center turns off. Turning the cardioacceleratory center on means more norepinephrine released upon the SA node. Turning the inhibitory center off means less acetylcholine released on the SA node. All right, this is our kidney down here. This is our adrenal gland. Epinephrine, the major hormone released by the adrenal gland, is going to cause heart rate to go up. Thyroxine, the major hormone released by the thyroid gland, is going to make the heart rate go up. Caffeine in delicious coffee is going to make heart rate go up. Nicotine, cocaine, going to make heart rate go up. Those are all things that are going to make heart rate go up. All right, what's going to make heart rate go down? Well, heart rate's going to decrease when you turn off the cardioacceleratory center or turn on the cardioinhibitory center. So turn off the CAC, less norepinephrine. Turn on the inhibitory center, more acetylcholine. In both cases, heart rate goes down. Drugs, beta blockers, like atenolol, propranolol, prevent norepinephrine from binding to the heart, thereby blocking that sympathetic signal and thus causing heart rate to go down. All right, let's do one more slide here. You figure this out you guys figure this out on your own, and we'll talk about it in class. So you got 2 EKGs here, 2 EKGs. What you got to do is tell me which one has the greater filling time and which one has the greater end diastolic volume. All right, with that, we'll end this oh so short lecture. I will see you guys next time. Au revoir.